Salvete omnes. Today we're looking at the Aeneid lines 8 through 11. Let's get started. Musa, mihi causas memora, quo numine laeso, quidve dolens, regina deum tot volvere casus, insignem pietate virum, tot adire labores impuleret, tantaene animis caelestibus irae? Muse, recall to me the reasons, with what divine spirit having been wounded, or grieving what, the queen of the gods forced a man marked with pietas to endure so many misfortunes and to approach so many labors. Are there such great angers in heavenly bodies, or in heavenly spirits, more literally translated? So, there's a lot to unpack here. This passage is known as the Invocation of the Muse. It's where Virgil calls out to his muse and asks for inspiration and for the reasons that Juno forced Aeneas into his perilous journey and forced all these troubles upon him. So musa here, is vocative. He's calling out to the muse. Here we have memora, which is an imperative. Recall to me the reasons. Here is either an ablative absolute or an ablative cause. I'm going with ablative absolute in my interpretation. With what divine spirit having been wounded, or grieving what? Virgil's asking a question here. Grieving what? Grieving at what? Being angry at what? The queen of the gods. Now, deum is a syncopated form for deorum. Remember, syncope, syncopation, is whenever a longer Latin word is shortened to fit the meter or make the line flow better. So deorum is shortened to deum. So this is actually genitive plural. The queen of the gods. All the way down here, we have our main verb. The queen forced, impuleret. This is perfect active subjunctive. It's not a form you find super often. That erit is unique. The queen of the gods forced virum. Here's your accusative, your direct object. A man, insignem, marked with pietas. Pietas is a word I want to stop and talk about for a second. Pietas is really hard to translate exactly into an English word, so it's really best to just keep it as pietas. It literally means devotion to the gods, and some people might want to try and translate it into English as piety, but it doesn't quite carry the same meaning that it does to ancient Roman standards. Pietas means devotion to the gods, and it is Aeneas' defining characteristic. You will see Pius Aeneas all throughout the Aeneid. Pietas is a huge theme. Aeneas' devotion to the gods is immaculate in the Aeneid. So, Juno, the regina, forced a man marked with piety, or pietas. Piety is not the best way to translate it. She forced a man marked with pietas to turn over, to tumble through, to roll about so many downfalls or misfortunes. Casus. Volvere is just a complementary infinitive, going with impuleret, forced a man or the man to roll through so many misfortunes. Now, here we have some asyndeton. We are missing a conjunction. That's asyndeton. We don't have any et connecting us here or any que. It just goes straight into the next thing. So, she forced the man to roll through so many downfalls, and she forced him to approach, adeo, adire, to approach, to be present. She forced him to approach so many labors, so many tasks. Now, to finish it off, we have a question. That ne there tells you it. Ne shows you that a question is showing up that can have either a yes or no answer. So she's asking, are there such great angers? Or Virgil is asking, are there such great angers in heavenly spirits, caelestibus animis, heavenly spirits goes together. Now, we're missing a verb here. You would expect something like sunt, are there are there such great angers in heavenly spirits? So Virgil is really just asking the muse to tell him about Juno's anger, speak of where it came from, speak of the reasons that she's forcing Aeneas to go through so many hardships.